A lot of people nowadays have this whole like dad bod is cool vibe, and they say like it's cool to have a dad bod, and it's not the reality if you're actually a dad. So we're going to get into this in this video. Build the body, lead the home, honor God. This is where discipline meets devotion. This is the 3F life: faith, family, fitness, and I'm your host Connor. So I see a lot of these like videos and stuff around that are like dad bods are cool. They'll be interviewing girls and asking them if they like would prefer a dad bod or like a dude who's in shape. And there will be these like pictures of this like there's this famous dude that played Superman, and he's like not in his peak shape, and people are like, oh yeah, that's the dad bod that everybody wants. And it's like, one, that dude is jacked. He does not have a dad bod. But like these dudes that are using this as like excuse to be fat losers, it's hilarious because having a dad bod and not being in shape and being a dad is such a weak thing to do. Like if you can't commit to being in shape, like how are you going to lead your kids? You're going to raise a bunch of fat kids. And I know that might not sound PC and nice, but it's the reality of it. Like, if you're going to McDonald's 3 times a week and buying your kids Happy Meals, you are setting the worst example for them that you possibly could. And I remember being like this. I had ballooned up to like 230 pounds, and I was like, I feel like I carry my weight well, and I was cool with the dad bod. I'd, feed into these videos and stuff, and then I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and it was like, bro, you're fat. Like, what are you doing with your life? How are you going to set an example for your kids if they see their fat dad slouching on the couch all day, every day? You're just sitting here watching movies, doing nothing for your life. How are you going to be an example for your kids? You want your kids to grow up and be that? Genuinely, like, who in the world wants their kids to grow up and be 300 pounds sitting on the couch playing video games when they're 25? I certainly don't. And I don't think really anybody who's honest with themselves wants that. Nobody wants their kids to grow up and be nothing, working a generic 9 to 5 just so they can scrape by, having roommates, staying up late playing video games, smoking pot. Nobody wants that for their kids. And the reality of it is, like, if you have kids, it's so much more important that you care about your health and your body, because you grow up and you raise your kids eating healthy, and they see you in the gym all the time. Like, what better example? They see that what my dad did is what's normal. And then they're going to run laps around these other kids because they're going to be like that. And then the other kid's dad is just going to be sitting on the couch playing video games, eating snacks. And you don't want your kids to grow up like this. You want your kids to grow up and care about their health and be competitive. Like, if my kids play sports, we play to dominate in everything we do. We don't play to lose, we play to win. And that's how you need to play the game of life, is to win. And like by the time you become a dad, the clock starts ticking for your health. So when your kid becomes a teenager and you can't play basketball with them in the front yard because you're fat and out of shape, how sad is that? Like, who wants to live a life like that? I want to be playing in the yard with my kids and dominating them until they're physically better than me. And when that becomes the case, it's going to be because they're just younger. I don't want it to be an excuse because their dad's overweight and out of shape. It's going to be because they're just younger and they're hitting their physical peak, and I'm not. And you think about it, like, if you're an older dad, for example, you have a kid and you're out of shape, you can't go throw the ball with them in the front yard. Let's say you have grandkids. That clock starts the moment you have kids. You can have grandkids one day. Or do you want to be that old grandpa, like, walking around with a crutch or with a cane and you can't do nothing? You're just watching them from a distance? Or do you want to be like a fit grandpa who can go out and play with their grandkids? I've got a funny story. Like, so my grandfather, this dude would wake up every day and walk, X amount of miles. He'd do push-ups, pull-ups, everything. And before he died, this is probably like 6 months to a year before he died, we used to have this pull-up bar on the inside of my room growing up, me and my brother's room. And we were going to do pull-ups. And this is my grandfather. He's like in his late 60s. and we go do pull-ups. I'm out of shape at this time. I think I bust out like 2 or 3. My brother gets up to the bar. He does like 6 or 7, maybe a little more. My grandpa gets on that bar last, and you can just see like this dude is not losing to us. And he busts out one more than my brother because he had to prove like I've still got it. And he cared about his health. So even when he was like, right before he passed, this wasn't super long before he passed away, he gave it to us. He took us and won. And that's the energy you got to have with your family is I'm going to be in shape. I care about my health because I want to have a long-lasting life, and I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for my grandkids. Like, how cool would it be to, grow up and like when you're old and you got great grandkids that you can still hang out with and do things with. Or when your grandkids are growing up, like you can go play sports with them because you took care of yourself and you weren't just like sitting in the lawn chair watching them. Or like they don't visit you and you're just watching MSNBC or Fox News or whatever you watch, like old people watch on TV all the time. Like you're just genuinely like, I can go do stuff with my kids because I have energy because I took care of my body when I was young. And it's not what the world's telling you to do. Like the whole dad bod stuff is crazy to me. Who wants to be like that? Genuinely. Like if you ask anybody, like, would you rather be fat or jacked? Who in the right mind is going to say, yeah, I'm cool being fat? Like, no. And the thing is like, we just don't talk to ourselves the right way. Like, we want to talk to ourselves so nicely that, we say good things to ourselves. And, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not good to speak positively of yourself. But at the same time, it's amazing to give yourself a reality check if you're not in the shape. Like, go tell yourself that. Because when you tell yourself that and it's coming from you and you're the only person who can change that, because your brother can't change that, your friends can't change that. If you're fat, and the only one who can change it is you. And you tell yourself that, like you look in the mirror and you're like, bro, you got to wake up. Like, we're not going to live to see 60 if we keep going down this path. What in the world am I doing? I'm fat. And I had that conversation with myself a couple years ago. And then I went and I changed it. And I'm not in like the perfect shape that I want to be in. But like the difference now, I'm like 50 pounds down. And like the version of me then, like struggling to carry groceries upstairs, like can't go run. Like I'm not playing basketball or anything like that. Not doing anything active. Like I couldn't be active. I couldn't go to the gym and lift. I remember when I started going to the gym, I'm like lifting the barbell. And maybe like after a month, I put 25s on it. And I'm like, man, I'm so weak. How ridiculous is this? I'm a grown man and I can't put up any kind of weight. Like what's going to happen if your family's in like a life or death situation and you're not strong enough to do nothing? You got like the scenario of like your kid's dangling off the edge of a cliff and you can't pull them up because you're too weak and fat. Like, who wants to live a life like that? I certainly don't. I want to be the dude that's picking all 3 of my kids up over the cliff. And I mean, I'm not going to ever put my kids in a situation where they're dangling off a cliff, but you get the analogy. Like, it's so crucial, especially as we begin the new year, because everybody's going to be in the gym this year. You're going to see that. Everybody's New Year's resolution is to get into shape. But the reality of it is probably 30% of that people that are in that gym right now that had that New Year's resolution to get into shape are going to be gone in a month because they don't care about it enough. They don't have the desire to truly get into shape. They've got a quick burst of motivation. It's a motivation like you just watched the YouTube video and now you're like, oh, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go hit this gym hard. And then that motivation just fizzles out because you're going to fall back into comfort. You're going to fall back into watching whatever new Netflix crap is on TV. And you're going to want to go watch that new movie and eat a bucket of popcorn because you're just out of shape and you don't care about it enough. And the only thing that's going to change it is if you can tell yourself point blank that you're out of shape and you need to change it, and you can't accept the fact that you're out of shape. And then you create the discipline. Discipline trumps motivation every day of the week. Because discipline is you wake up every day early and you hit the gym even when you don't want to. When you're tired, you hit the gym. When you've had a long day at work, you still hit the gym. Like, that's what discipline is. You still do the work when you're not wanting to do the work. And our world now is all about this motivation. It's motivation, motivation. You see all these videos, they're like 20 to an hour long of like clips of people like hyping you up, telling you be motivated, be motivated. It's like David Goggins and all these other dudes. And it's just so short term, it's temporary. Just like the people you see in the gym going for their New Year's resolution. How many of those people are going to like truly change their life this year? How many of those people in December are going to be like in shape or have actually like genuinely lost 40, 50 pounds? And I'll say like most of them won't, because most of them, like, maybe they can go to the gym a little bit consistently. They're not going to change how they eat. They're not going to start sleeping more. They're still going to be binge watching nonsense at night. They're still going to be eating McDonald's. And yeah, maybe they shed 10 pounds and feel a little bit better about themselves, but that's just the reality of it. And you can't sugarcoat this stuff when you're talking to yourself. There's no point in sugarcoating it when this is your life. And we only get one opportunity to live this. So why would you not want to be the best version of yourself? God put you on this planet for a reason. It wasn't to sit there and watch TV all day and be a loser and become fat and out of shape and die before your kids have grandkids. That's not why God put us on this earth. He wants us to take care of ourselves. And that's the start. Like, you've got to be disciplined in your mind. And I know it can be hard to do, like, because I went through this for like 7-8 years. Right after my oldest was born, I ballooned up to near 230, and then I just kind of coasted at that weight for a long time, smoking, eating, just not being healthy, not working out. And then I just woke up one day and said, this has got to change. And if you don't know like where to start, go find somebody. Like, there's a million coaches on Instagram and YouTube that will, like, you can pay them money and they'll tell you exactly what to eat, exactly how to work out, what amount of sleep to get, and they'll tailor the game plan for you and for your life. And then at that point, it's like, I'm paying money into this, because this is what I did. It's like, I'm paying money, like, I better follow through. I'm not going to just blow my money into the dust and not follow through, because I've already spent it. And so maybe that's the change that you need in your life, to actually go and like hire somebody to tell you what to do. Because that was like a big change in my life. Like, he told me, eat these 3-4 meals a day, walk this amount of steps, lift exactly like this, send me videos so I can see how you're lifting and I can tweak it. And then you get into the swing of things. And there's a book called Atomic Habits that I read a couple years ago too. It's kind of right before the change of everything. And he talks about like how to build a habit. Because that's what discipline is. Discipline is creating habits for yourself, habits that don't change and that last even when you don't feel like going, even when the motivation isn't there. And he starts by saying, like, if you're wanting to get into shape and you want to get into the gym and be consistent, just get into the gym. Don't worry about, like, am I lifting chest today? Is this a push or a pull day? Just get into the gym. Walk on a treadmill for 10 minutes and leave if that's what you got to do your first couple times. Because after a while, you're going to be in the gym and it's like, okay, I'm here already. I might as well do something with it. Because you'll have that habit of like consistently going to the gym, and that's going to change your life. And I realize that this subject might not be like nice. I'm not like going to sugarcoat the reality of what being an overweight man is when you have kids. But the reality of it is you have got to get into some kind of shape if you want to have a lasting life and you want to be healthy for your kids and you want to set that example for how your kids should live. And that's all me speaking from experience. So I think that's when you speak from experience, you can speak a little bit more harsh than people who haven't lived it, because I've lived it. I remember, not being able to do nothing with my kids because I was so out of shape. And then now I change it, and it's like, I work out all the time, and my kids are right beside me, and they see me go to the gym. They're at the daycare in the gym, and so I'm setting a much better example than I was before, and it's just a change of the discipline. So if you enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe. I want to share my experiences that can help other men improve their lives in the way that I have improved mine. And as always, thank you and God bless.